Around 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
By the power of Grayskull!
Don't say that! Never say that! Goonies never say die!
What's going on?
14.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 183 of 40 Going on 14. I am Mike.
I am Patrick.
I'm Joel.
And I'm Josh, and today we're talking about Beauty and the Beast, a story about a horrible, terrifying creature who falls in love with Ron Perlman and then doesn't have to be a corporate lawyer anymore.
Aww. Poor Linda Hamilton.
I like Lemma Hamilton.
I like Lemon Hamilton. Yes,
I
Beauty.
like Linda Hamilton as well, but the
Lim-
joke
Lim-
doesn't work as well unless...
No, not at all.
No.
The what?
No,
No.
no.
And no.
No.
We're stuck in a loop.
Pretty sturdy loop.
So this week we're talking about Beauty and the Beast. To get ready for the release of the Beauty and the Beast movie, this week we've watched the Beauty and the Beast TV show, one going back to 1986?
87.
87. And the one that was released in 2012, which had some interesting things that were in common. But so the Beauty and the Beast.
If you're into interesting things, you can always check out Geek Life Radio. Nope, Podcast Collective. I'm looking at the wrong section of the show notes. Mike gives me a good one to move in, and I fuck it up. Don't stick the landing. On the Podcast Collective, you can find such shows as the Bad Parenting Podcast, The Internet with Scott the Pool Boy, The Dog and Deuce Show, and of course, the Rad Dad Radio Hour.
Yes, and if you're looking for some of our older stuff, you can find us on iTunes, Blueberry, Stitcher, and TalkShoe. Or if you'd like to get in touch with us, maybe give us an idea, have a complaint, tell Josh how to stick it, and we can call us.
Where to stick it?
Where to stick it, how to stick it.
I know how to stick it.
But do you know where?
I don't know. You got to move it.
You like to move it?
Go. No.
The hell is wrong with you people?
I don't know.
I like to move it.
669-9727.
Or you can always check us out at the aforementioned Geek Life Radio at 12 noon on Saturdays.
Yes, that is a place where we will be. So, listener feedback. Got any?
No, I don't think so. I mean, did we have any activity on the Twitter or Facebook page? Because we didn't have any voicemails this week.
No voicemails. We had a little bit of activity on Facebook. I completely forgot about Twitter.
You sons of bitches.
Once Mike posted the Zamfir link.
Yeah, the master of the pan flute suddenly got everybody talking about it. But we have been. I have heard your complaints, and I have gotten back on the track of posting older shows. We're down to 27. You got the board game show and Close Encounters of the Third 3 1/4 kind.
That's not how that should read.
No, that's the third and fourth kind.
Well, anyway, I was confused because I forget about the graphics that I do about this. I do when I make the shows, and I cannot understand why we have a picture of a large Southern woman in a kayak kayaking down a gravy river.
It's Potato Mountain.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that makes more sense.
Mashed Tater Mountain.
Yeah, there you go. So go back, listen to us before we realized that we needed to get better microphones.
Yeah, I was going to say, be careful what you wish for, because you get to some of those earlier shows and they get a little rough.
I like it rough.
But yeah, you can...
I'm still using the same headphones from the very first episode. So, meh.
Yeah.
I was on board with the good headphones from the very beginning.
I haven't changed anything.
And
So
we
I have
know...
hands.
I was using a speak and spell for the first 30 episodes.
Yeah. All right, about that time?
Oh, yeah, it's about that time.
This week in music. movies, and TV.
And sports. I was strangely connected to them.
Nice.
So the theme of this week is the 25th of September, 1987, which is the release date of the Perlman-Hamilton Beauty and the Beast.
Bat Bee.
That
I like Bat Bee. That's what we're going to refer to it as for the entire episode. Bat Bee.
Bat Bee and Flap.
No flap.
Music.
It's like the Pinky and the Brain spinoff. Bat being wept.
They're Bat Bee and they're Wef. The top songs in the land are Didn't We Almost Have It All by Whitney Houston, Here I Go Again by Whitesnake, and I Just Can't Stop Loving You by Michael Jackson. That's a whole lot of love songs.
It really is.
Good. It's good love songs, though.
And I will confess that Here I Go Again by Whitesnake is one of my top 50 all-time songs ever.
You and Frank the Tank.
It's definitely my favorite of those three.
Yeah.
I would go with the Michael Jackson one.
I'm normally just there. It's just that's not going to crack probably my top 20 for Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson has a lot better stuff than that.
Well, yeah, obviously.
But he's got an entire catalog to celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And if I stop, just tell me what will I do.
no. Jack Lawless, drummer for the Jonas Brothers, is born on September 20th.
That's all there is to say about him.
I was going to say, I don't think any of us is going to recall our fond days listening to the Jonas Brothers. You can move on.
That first album.
I
Actress
liked them before they were popular.
when they were fetuses.
Yes.
Ew. Actress and singer Hilary Duff was born on September 29th in Houston, Texas. She's a Texan?
Yep.
It's in a whole other country.
She still lives in Houston.
Huh.
That explains a lot.
Like what?
Shut up.
Aha, I gotcha.
Clarissa explains it all. Oh, wait, different actress.
Like her getting to a certain age and then crashing and burning.
Oh.
Oh. Bad B. On September 25th, CBS launched an American version of the long-running UK television show Top of the Pops. It lasts 1 year.
Now, we talked
Apparently-
about this before.
Top of the Pops?
Yeah, we've done. We were very close to this week in one tweet before, but
Yeah, but the thing is that the contrast to it is that the European Top of the Pops lasted like 23 years or something.
Yeah.
Something like that. So
I think it's still going actually.
Yeah, and it's weird because like it has no name recognition over here, and there are too many other similar shows.
Mhm.
So it's just a bad idea.
Well, they were trying to do the coattail thing, I think.
Yeah.
I
'Cause,
watched
Yeah.
Coattails.
Love me some coattails.
Woohoo! Oh wait,
No, that's DuckTales.
that's right. Moving on to movies. This week sees the release of La Bamba, The Pickup Artist, The Principal, The Princess Bride, Hellraiser, Superman 4, Quest for Peace, and the #1 movie and our acronym of the week, FA, which of course is Fellatio Attorney.
Dude, I love that show.
Damn it! I got the wrong attorney.
I'm just trying to get ahead in the business.
Well, I think you've started it right there.
Yeah, that noise was actually me slapping my knee there.
I can see like there's a like a sassy judge, and he's like, I'm gonna pass judgment on that ass.
No.
And it's
Aw. So what is it actually? Falcon's
Fatal
ass?
Attraction.
I couldn't hear what it actually
Fatal
was.
Attraction.
Oh, Fatal Attraction.
Bat B.
love
Anyway, what's your favorite movie out of all those?
Princess
Ooh.
Bride.
Princess Bride. Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
Except for Joel, Superman 4. No, y'all have to punch him.
Careful, I'm gonna throw my Superman logo at you. Like a
That was
throwing
Superman
star.
3. That wasn't Superman 4.
Oh, did I get it mixed up?
And now we are Superman 4, Quest for Peace.
What is this? Some kind of Superman 4 Quest for Peace? Right. Tom Felton was born September 22nd, and as a child actor, he made his debut in The Borrowers, followed by a role in Anna and the King.
Whoa, whoa,
Felton-
whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you guys literally just disappeared up into whatever Josh started saying to Anna and the King. So, yeah. So let me mark the time because I mean, you guys literally just completely disappeared off the radar.
About how far?
Like all I heard right after you said your something about the past judgment on that ass, and we talked about Superman 4,
Shit.
and then you guys just disappeared for a second. That's all. So that's
That
just.
sucks because we missed some good stuff there.
I mean, I don't even know what happened. You just guys went totally dead.
Weird.
And let's see.
Well, are we back now? He said to no one.
Yes, you're
I
back.
heard you.
End of tweet. Joel,
Beppy.
Josh, start. Okay. All right.
I guess start with Tom Felton again.
Guess I'm going to have to.
You ready?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Tom Felton was born September 22nd, and as a child actor, he made his debut in The Borrowers, followed by a role in Anna and the King. Felton also appeared in Rise of the Planet of the Apes, The Apparition, and Risen. He also portrays Julian Albert / Dr. Alchemy on The Flash.
It's one of those shows where everybody's been on it.
Yeah. I'm so far behind. I actually didn't know he was going to end up being Dr. Alchemy.
Who? Oh, am I confusing him with somebody else? I thought he was.
He was.
I'm like, wait a minute. He's the blonde kid.
He won awards for best villain for his portrayal of Draco Malfoy in the Harry Potter series.
Malfoy. That's his name.
Yeah.
Ah.
I'm
I
like,
was
why
being
are you
smart
not
ass and leaving that out.
Unfortunately, he's not high enough profile for that joke to totally land.
Yeah, but it was funny to me.
Fair enough.
And I caught it. I mean, I liked him in Rise of the Planet of the Apes, but I was like, Pat, are you forgetting something?
Yeah, that's Draco Malfoy.
Fair enough. A tragic apartment fire on November 21st took the life of African-American actress and social worker Ruth Attaway, sister of William Attaway, the novelist, playwright, and screenwriter. In the 1930s through the 70s, she starred in many roles on Broadway and in Hollywood. Titles included You Can't Take It With You, Porgy and Bess, and Being There, which was her last role.
Being There, wasn't that the one with
Peter Sellers.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, it really is.
And Porgy and Bess is a great musical of that era.
True. I mean, Being There is a good movie if you can get past the whole, Peter Sellers playing an Indian character, which some people obviously have problems with. As you can, all you got to do is ask Fisher Stevens.
Yeah, but apparently in India it was a huge hit.
Yeah.
I was reading articles about the whole whitewashing thing and white actors playing non-white characters, and apparently over there his portrayal was very popular. Strangely.
Yeah.
Hey, Pat.
Just don't give a shit.
Her pants are blazing for you.
Women, who can live with them and without them?
I want to stick my tongue down her throat.
Okay.
Joshy 5 is alive.
Moving on to Bob Fosse, famous choreographer for Broadway, died on September 22nd from terminal jazz hands. Is that a thing?
No.
They won't stop jazzing. So you're gonna tell us what it really was?
Complications. What was it? Complications from pneumonia, I think.
Oh. Well, that's not as fun.
That's why I didn't write it.
Well, good play then. All right, TV. The top shows are, of course, The Cosby Show, A Different World, Cheers, The Golden Girls, and Growing Pains.
Show me that smile again.
See that smile. I was muted, damn it.
Thanks. Along with Beauty and the Beast, we see the release of Alf, the animated series.
Ha!
I kill me.
Willie.
I'm not going to say it's a guilty pleasure, but I fucking love Alf.
Yeah, Alf was fun. The guy who played Alf, complete loon jackass. But
Well, and Jerry Stahl, the creator of. Oh, anyway, just watch Permanent Midnight. You'll understand.
like, no shit, yeah.
Hmm.
Probably Ben Stiller's best role ever.
I love that. Love that movie. Great flick. But yeah, Alf. I had an Alf doll that I used to carry around all the time. I loved Alf.
He used to make them clear the set while he set himself up as the puppet, and then he wouldn't let people like see him doing the puppet because he wanted, everybody to be caught. Like that was his version of method acting as a puppet, I guess.
My favorite scene out of the entire one has got to be when they're doing they've got what was the dad's name? Louis? Willie. Well, he's got Willie dressed up as Elton John, and they're doing Saturday Night.
Nope, not familiar with that.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
I'll have to find a video of that one because it's fantastic. So, all right, Dan Rowan was a straight man in the comedy duo Rowan and Martin with his partner Dick Martin. The two created the show Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, one of the most popular comedy variety shows of all time.
It was popular, apparently.
I don't know what that is. That's my computer saying that it wants to restart. Please, ruh-roh. Fuck you, Windows 10. Hang on. So, where was I? One of the most popular comedy variety shows of all time. He exited stage left due to lymphoma on September 22nd.
Yikes.
Wow. Death in this one isn't just depressing. It's not funny and depressing. At the 39th Emmy Awards held on September 20th, winners include Law and Order, Bruce Willis, and Sharon Gless. Sharon Gless, who is that?
She was on Cagney and Lacey.
Oh, okay. Right, and then Star Trek: The Next Generation debuts on September 28th, and then 30-something debuts on September 29th.
Top of
I've
the
never
Pops
seen
is
30
canceled
something.
later.
Yeah.
You never watched it?
Nope.
I watched it.
Watch what?
30 something.
Yeah.
I was like 15 something.
Yeah, I think my mom watched that show.
Lots of people's moms watched that show.
Let's see, 1987. No, I wasn't even 15 something. I was like 12 something. Pat was like 43, I think. I'm sorry, 42.
And sports.
Show me that smile.
On September 20th, Walter Payton rushed for a then record 107th career touchdown against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's now fourth on the list, though. Yep. The second ever NFL strike begins on September 22nd, and it lasts 24 days. That's all there is to that.
Yep.
And then on September 26th, the San Diego Padres' Benito Santiago sets the rookie hitting streak record at 28 games. That means there were 28 games in a row that he got at least one hit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. The record is anyone?
34.
No.
Is,
Literally double that number. 56 games by Joe DiMaggio.
oh my God.
Oh.
Yeah, Joe DiMaggio went 56 games with a hit, went one game without a hit, and then went another 22 games with a hit. So, yeah, in 79 games, he had 78 hits.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Did they have like how many at bats he had?
Yeah, I mean it's somewhere, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, and there were multiple games where he had multiple hits, I'm sure. So, yeah, at least one in all those. That's one of those sports records that a lot of people say will never be broken.
That's probably a good guess right there. So,
yep, that's pretty
All right.
impressive.
Joel,
Sports.
wait, no, not sports. Closing music.
Not.
All right, main show. On to the main stuff. The then Beauty and the Beast. So, this is actually Josh's idea, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Are you having second thoughts?
Well, no, I back in the day when this was on, I was not particularly interested in it, but I did want to take a look at it with fresh eyes because I definitely thought it was like over melodramatic soap opera at the time. But we'll get into what I think about it now.
Yeah. So here's the deal. 1987 to 1990. It's listed as a crime fantasy drama TV series. The series follows a relationship between Vincent the Beast and Catherine the DA. Or the ADA. What?
Not the Beast.
Not the Beast. What's an ADA?
Assistant.
ADA. I thought she was like a Disabilities Act. So they tried to make it first season was a blend of romance and crime drama, which the criminal of the week seemed to be the theme. And Catherine used her wiles and skills to romance Vincent out into the world so she could, nuzzle him.
Nuzzle him.
Nuzzle?
Nuzzle?
Make lion babies.
Yes. Well, that would didn't come until season 3.
Rawr.
Yeah. So, but every episode you're treated with the backlit image of Vincent running down a hallway.
Yep.
And
that circular staircase, I always thought was cool, even back then.
Oh, the one that goes down into the underground?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. So the second season, they were trying to boost ratings. They changed a little bit more of it into action, and they had a recurring villain named Paracelsus. That too. Played by Tony J.
Paraceltics.
Yes.
It was Larry Bird and Kevin McHale.
So you may not know the guy by his face. Well, you probably would. He's a character actor, but he's been in Twin Peaks. He's been in Night Court, and did the voice of Judge Claude Frollo in Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Sorry.
Okay. The second season, I don't even know where that came from.
That was the theme to Night Court.
Oh, I thought he was doing Barney Miller.
It sounded like Barney Miller, but that was that. He was doing the theme to Night Court.
In that case, I'm just going to pretend that you did it right.
Yay!
The end of the second season, Catherine seems walking down into a chamber where Vincent is suffering from madness. Now, it comes back in 89, and at this point, Linda Hamilton was pregnant and said that she was going to leave the show. So they decided to attract more male viewers. Well, they wanted to attract more male viewers, and they knew that getting rid of her would probably have an issue with that. So they wind up killing her and replacing her with Diana Bennett, who played Joe Anderson as a criminal profiler. Unfortunately, it took a really dark turn, and the core fans did not like it, and it was canceled afterwards.
Yeah, and you want to strike that and reverse it. It was Joe Anderson playing Diana.
Okay.
Well, and then in the third season, that's where Vincent started to try different things, like that episode where he was a NASCAR driver. I mean, it got really out there. Like, really out there.
Then there was the season where he was Ted Cruz. Lion Ted Cruz.
Dude.
So,
Jesus Christ, man.
This was created by A1 Ron Koslow, who's known for Beauty and the Beast and Beauty and the Beast.
Oh.
Yeah, he's actually the creator. He's listed as creator for both this one and the 2012 one also. Vincent is played by the strangely sexy Ron Perlman.
Yeah, it was so funny because like all these women, I do remember this from the time because I've never watched this show until this episode. And all these women back in the day, I remember like, hearing all these women fawning over like, oh, the Beast, he's so, it's so romantic and so blah, blah. And they're like, he's a sex symbol or whatever. Then the very first time Ron Perlman appeared without his makeup on, all the women were like, huh.
Did not expect that.
Right.
Now though, man, Ron Perlman's got some,
he's a badass now,
he is, especially after
Hellboy.
Well, Hellboy and
Sons of Anarchy. Yeah.
yeah, and also
Oh,
my favorite character of Ron Perlman's has got to be the character from Pacific Rim.
I was going to mention that. Yeah, that's a good one.
Mine is Hellboy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Hellboy is my favorite. He was born to play that role, and I'm so
That
mad
is
that they.
perfect cast. And that's as good a casting as Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, honestly, in my opinion.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And for us video game nerds, he is forever going to be the voice of the Fallout narrator.
Yeah.
War never changes.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
So
Because you don't play Fallout.
Roy Dotrice,
That's true.
as Jacob Father Wells, Jay Acavone as Deputy DA Joe Maxwell, Linda Hamilton as assistant, District Attorney Catherine Chandler, and Ren Woods as Edie, her partner, the computer geek.
Yeah, on the every time they would cut to her, it's like, and she's just typing, she's just mashing the same keys over and over again.
Mm-hmm. With those lights and everything going on in the back. I don't know what those terminals were doing in the back, but
We also cut the cast list 2 spots before someone who us Trekkies would recognize. It's Armin Shimmerman.
Oh.
He played Pascal, and he was best known. He went on to play Quark on Deep Space Nine.
Quark.
And I guess Ron Perlman gave him a whole lot of tips on basically having to constantly wear prosthetics.
Kind of like Marky Mark.
well, they said that it took 4 hours to get him into full makeup for every episode.
It took far less time to get Dirk Diggler into makeup.
I'm a star.
Also, Beauty and the Beast.
And Delroy Lindo was also in this.
Well, yeah, they had a ton of guest stars for 1 episode or 2 episodes.
Well,
Oh, he wasn't recurring?
No.
the funny thing about Delroy Lindo is well, and this is something I mentioned when. And speaking of which, Linda Hamilton's boss's name is Joel. Props. Anyway, where in the first pilot episode or the first episode, the trainer that she goes to help her get her street fighting skills is generic character actor guy. Second episode, poof, it's Delroy Lindo.
Well, yeah, but this was back in the day where you didn't shoot a pilot and then ship it around and know that you were getting like a 12 episode run. You'd shoot the pilot, it'd be in a can for a year, and then if you got picked up, you'd shoot episode 2, and like the filming delay between episode 1 and 2 might be a really long time.
And a lot of people like would get booked in other things and have to be recast and stuff.
Yeah.
Or you'd get more money and be able to hire Delroy Lindo.
Yeah.
Right,
So-
which I think originally Jim Carrey was in the Beast costume in the pilot episode.
Yeah, when he was 4.
Vroom.
Let me show you something.
So, going over this, one of the things that we noticed, and I think it was episode 2 for us on this one, we noticed a name in the credits, and I went and looked, and 14 episodes have writing credits from George R.R. Martin.
Well,
Never
yeah,
heard
he was also the executive producer and story runner.
This was his first big break, I think.
Well,
Which is
he
just
was
crazy because there's not nearly enough deaths for George R.R. Martin.
he had already written a bunch of books, but he thought that he would never write again because the book right before he started his TV career crashed and burned. He wrote a bunch of like vampire books. His last one bombed. He was on Max Headroom as a producer. He did a whole bunch of TV work, and then a couple years after this, he did the Wild Cards superhero series, which got him back into writing. And like 4 years after that, started Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I've got the first book of the Wild Card series. It's good stuff. So,
So those were books called The Wild Card?
Mhm.
Wild Cards? I can't
Yeah.
talk.
like,
Wild Cards is a superhero anthology, which he wrote a lot of, but has always overseen. Like they're like a bunch of short stories, all focusing on an individual character, a
Mhm.
hero or a villain.
Huh.
like one guy flies around in a big VW Beetle that's been modified as like it's a flying tank. And there's other, I forget what the other ones were, but that one always stuck out in my head.
Well, yeah, because it's unique.
Wendy Penny also created 2 issues of a comic book adaptation of the series. Toss her in here because we talked about her when we did the Women in Comics show. While other comic book adaptations were made from existing chapters, she is the only writer-artist that was given permission by Ron Koslow to create entirely new stories for the characters.
And I'm trying to imagine that with as much like drama and music trying to, pull your heartstrings and all the talking that goes on, what that would look like in comic book form.
Now, Wendy Penny was pretty good for, I think her art style was good for this sort of thing.
To look her up.
During the show's run, Ron Perlman was actually offered countless requests to promote products while dressed as Vincent. And then he said he's not there to be exploited.
Except that L'Oreal commercial. Maybelline?
Maybe he's born with it.
Exactly.
More than likely.
Maybe it's lion DNA.
Well, then there was that failed sitcom with him and Eric Stoltz.
The Lion and the Elephant?
What? Elephant?
The lion, the mask, and the wardrobe.
Right.
Oh, The Lion, the Mask, and the Wardrobe. There you go.
Thank you.
Are you going to do this the whole show, Joel? I just want to know so I can be ready.
Do what?
These jokes and things.
I restrained myself from
Yes.
saying something really, really cheesy, but I'm going to go ahead and say it since Joel has embraced the thing. The lady, Wendy Penny.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Never mind. No, I'm not even going to do. I'm censoring myself. It's so bad. I'm not going to say it.
You've gone too far.
All right. So, one Wendy Penny is worth about 5 whorish women. So the equivalency is it's a penny for your thoughts. So yeah, that's why I didn't want to say it because I didn't think you guys would know what thought means.
No, I knew.
Yeah. Yeah.
You should have gone with your gut there.
Hey, do not blame me. I censored myself, and
Hey, I wasn't talking you into it.
I'm openly apologizing to everybody out there for that.
I know when to censor myself.
We watched the first 3 episodes. First one was the discovery of it, and
Well, one of the first things that made me laugh watching this was after he attacks the guys in the hallway that were trying to kill Kathy. You know, the very first time you see him in action and everything.
Yeah.
The detective comes in and he surveys the crime scene, and first thing out of his mouth is like, "Well, this looks like a lion mauling." Like, really? In the middle of a city, of an urban setting, that's the first thing out of your mouth? Like, oh yes, this is obviously lions.
It is New York.
But still,
Just saying.
not like, oh, these have been attacked by wild animals. Oh yes, this is obviously a lion because I am a zoologist.
this was a lot of raccoons. Yeah, the first episode was just as, I don't want to say cringe-inducing, but just kind of...
It was very 80s.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, the romance dialogue was just as sappy and difficult to sit through as I vaguely remembered. But one of the things that impressed me about this was the whole world Vincent came from, having almost shades of Nightbreed.
I never saw Nightbreed, so
We have
Well, no, I agree. The world building on it was very well done because it created a whole atmosphere and a separate environment from anywhere else that you really had seen at that point. And that was one of the things that was, I think, kind of interesting when I was watching it, is despite all the kind of over the top, sappy, cheesy dialogue, I still was kind of fascinated and wanted to see more about what was going on down those stairs.
they put a lot more effort into the world building underneath, because I think they just said, okay, we got all this, we need to build it all up, and then upstairs it's New York, we're done.
Yeah, it's like standard crime drama, then weird kind of overblown romance, and then you've got this cool underground world where it doesn't matter if you're a mutant lion in a Ren Fair costume. That's just like the way things work down here.
He had to wear tunics because they were the only thing that could fit over his huge head.
Because it couldn't fit in a one nick. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, she's gonna do it all episode, Mike.
the first episode when I was watching it, I was about 20 minutes into it. I'm like, oh man, this is going to be really rough. And by the end of it, I was like, huh, I kind of want to watch the next episode. So it sucked me in enough that I was intrigued.
I will tell you one thing that really bugged me about the first episode was the whole she gets attacked and her face gets all cut up and it's like this whole thing and like, oh, poor Kathy, she's having her nightmares and everything.
Can I call it?
Hmm?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and call this. What bugged you?
Go ahead.
The fact that her scars just totally disappeared.
Yeah, like why do you even bother putting that into the plot if you're just gonna immediately be like, oh well, she's totally fine, everything, miracle plastic surgery, no scars at all, no nothing, just because that's sloppy writing to me. Because it's like if you don't want to have to deal with putting her in makeup too every single time, then don't write that into the pilot. Just say that she got stabbed in the gut. Then you don't ever have to worry about showing scars.
Everybody kind of pretends that she still has scars because, like, when she goes to visit the other girl, she opens it and goes, "He did the same thing to me," and she's like, "Oh God, yes." And then
It's like she randomly left one scar behind her jawline that is always covered by her hair unless she needs to show it.
Yep.
And then the doctors are like, "Oh, we totally missed that one."
Yeah, like, oh, gross.
But it created a moment between her and Vincent when he's like, oh, your scars are gone. And it kind of made him probably feel a little bit like, you can do
I'm
that,
good.
but I can't.
My bandage work is top notch.
And of course, we know that one scar makes you a twisted monster.
Right.
Obviously,
We'll get back to that.
We learned that in the now.
Oh my God.
Well,
Wait for it.
and that's where you write it in and you leave it. Anyway.
Yeah. So I mean, I enjoyed it. I can see why I wouldn't have watched this when I was a kid because I didn't because I know saw at least part of it was like this is entirely too soap opera-ish for my taste. It does have that 80s cheesy charm to it. I mean, it is I told the girls, I'm like, okay, one, you're going to watch this with me, no complaining. And two, you know how I said like Stranger Things has that 80s feel to it. I'm like, this is what they're going for.
Yeah, this is the authentic 80s.
Yeah, this is why they only waded in the pool and didn't jump all the way in.
Well, and you got to give it props for committing to being weirder than anything else that's on TV at the time. Because it's been years since Dark Shadows. So supernatural fantasy romance was kind of out there. It's just a shame that this came on before the thinking about TV moved from you have to be able to jump in at any given point and be able to completely understand it. So you have the case of the week. If they committed to longer meta plots, this could have really been something.
Oh,
if they had turned this into like a you're talking about like a serial but with a overriding plot.
Yeah, like if they had committed to the reason she got attacked and made that a week-to-week thing with other stories dropping in, kind of the way they did with X-Files, where they didn't go full Lost would be the first series that you absolutely, if you missed one episode, you were out of it.
You were lost.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Josh said about Dark Shadows. Dark Shadows, I thought there was a remake of it. I thought it was earlier than that. It wasn't until 1991 that one came out, starring Ben Cross as Barnabas Collins.
And that's the thing is I'm pretty sure that the fact that this was popular for its 2 seasons before they lost its lead actress basically inspired that revival.
Oh my gosh. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in it too.
Well, and the other thing about this show that
Wait, he was in Beauty and the Beast?
No, he was in the remake of Dark Shadows.
Oh, okay.
the Dark Shadows thing.
We got to do that. We'll do that.
Eventually we will, I would think. The makeup, the set dressings and the makeup for Vincent were actually above par, especially for television.
True.
I mean, he was believable.
It looked fairly realistic.
Yeah. I mean, if there was a lion man wandering the sewers of
I mean, every time I imagine a lion man in the sewers, that's what he looks like.
just like the police detective did in the hallway.
For the time, I mean, especially, I mean, this was almost, I would say, movie quality special effects for that year.
Oh wow! This is also an early role for Mayim Bialik.
She was in
Really?
Beauty and the Beast.
Yep, she was a young girl from the world below called Ellie.
Oh, neat.
Probably in the 4th episode, right after we stopped watching.
Right?
But I mean, all in all, I was not disappointed by this. I wasn't like, oh my god, I can't believe why did we watch that? But it was fun. It's like a retro, kind of like, oh cool, this is better than I expected it to be, but
Mhm.
definitely not something that I would have been in on when I was 12 years old.
I hated many things that we have watched more than I hated this. I will.
What are you talking about, Pat?
Yeah, I figured that this was going to be really painful to watch, and I'm probably not going to go back and watch the rest of it, but it was fine. There were some things I got some value out of. I could see the George R.R. Martin creative influence in the way some of the stories were put together.
Yeah, George R. R. Martin got involved, and he was the first one to throw a guy down a bottomless pit that apparently exists underneath New York.
There probably actually is a bottomless pit under New York.
It's called New York.
It's called New Jersey.
Oh,
Zing.
shots fired, Jersey. What are you gonna do?
I can't say anything. I live in Rockford. What do I got to boast about?
Taco Bell.
Oh, #1 Mexican restaurant, according to a meme.
Joel's gonna see a bunch of guys in tracksuits wandering around Rockford looking for him.
We'll show him a bottomless pit over here. Anyway, the other thing I liked about the show is I love the 80s New York, and you didn't get. I mean, you got plenty of 80s New York in this show, and I always like looking back at what it was back in the day. It was so dirty and just it was New York.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dirty New York, and you've got the generic guardian angels running around there in the one episode. What did they call them?
Which episode was that?
He's talking about episode 2, and I don't know that they had a name. They just had white berets.
Oh,
You guys
with
just
the guy that was dressed like Vincent, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know they had a name. I just thought he was like the other trainer guy that was friends with main trainer guy Delroy Lindo.
Yeah, I think he had a separate organization, but I don't know if they ever gave it a name. Maybe they did.
The Guardian Devils.
yeah, that's not it.
The Protecting Angels.
Maybe.
The Guardian Angles.
Oh,
Ooh.
John Cena. Oh wait, that's different.
It's Kurt Angle. Yeah.
I know, Pat.
Okay.
All in all, I mean, are you guys like Josh? It's like not disappointed, but not something you're going to go back to.
I wouldn't use the word disappointed. I mean, I would use the word waste of time. But I mean, yeah, I'm not going to go back and watch any more of this. I mean, it's about exactly what I expected it was going to be.
It was
Why
actually
I never watched it in the first place.
it was actually more melodramatic and cheesy than I was expecting it to be, but oddly intriguing. But I would not watch the rest of the series.
Yeah, I don't know that I can give this a thumbs down, but it's not an enthusiastic thumbs up.
Yeah, I could. Mine is. I can see why it was popular then. I can definitely see the attraction to it for the 80s.
Yeah.
I think if anything with this show, I would watch like an episode from the second season to see how they kind of changed it, and then I'd want to watch the last episode just to see how they wrapped it up. If they wrapped it up.
I tried to watch the last episode.
Well, I mean, I want to see the one after he stopped doing NASCAR and he became a hip hop artist. That one would be killer. That didn't happen, Pat.
On that note,
Yeah, let's go to break.
yeah.
Oh, we're
Joel's
done
going
with
to try and get it together.
No, he's
No,
not.
I'm not.
Do not lie to the audience.
All right, we'll be back in a little bit. Joel's going to go practice his rawr.
Rawr.
That's why he needs to practice it.
Rawr.
All right.